All right, well, welcome back in, gear nerds, to Gearhaulics, the only podcast where we try to keep it under an hour because we don't like to drone on too long, but sometimes we toe that line. You got Fireball, Snackbox, and a guy who only agreed to be here because I partially end up funding his mild, very mild Applebee's addiction. You've got Brad from As the Crow Flies hiking. Howdy, fellas. Do you feel ready tonight, guys? Do you feel prepared and ready to go for this one? All right, that makes none of us. All right, cool.
No. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, we've got the obligatory best gear for 2024. We're not playing up to the algorithm here, folks, at all for any kind of views. I don't even know what the algorithm is. Again, I just view it as like the Wizard of Oz, some guy behind a screen just pulling some levers. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Round table, keep it loosey-goosey because that's how Snackbox likes it. And I'm going to do a few rounds here. I literally just shot this last night, so I apologize to anybody watching, but they're going to basically just hear the same stuff all over again because I'm going to have another video on my channel. So again, just ignore everything that I say on this and just pay attention to the other guys. If I was smart, I probably would have just like not ended up or just keeping like 2 or 3 to myself and then, having it for this one, but I'm an idiot. So best gear for 2024. Snackbox is abstaining from the first round here because he's scrambling and he wasn't prepared and he's trying to figure out something to throw up on the screen right now.
I'll just go last.
Oh, you'll just go. Okay,
I'm ready to go.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's it right there. I was trying to look at that one. That's it. All right, so we'll start with you then, Crow. Our real pro here, our real backpacking pro here, not the fake pros. What's your first one? Your best gear for 2024? And I'll try to pull it up because I think you sent me some links here too.
I guess I'll go with the Valhalla hammock is my first one. I picked up the Valhalla hammock, and if you've ever gone on the website, Jason Flowers, he's the owner. His website, it just shows you kind of what is available, but you got to call him and talk to him. So had a long conversation with him. I even went to South Carolina and hung out at a gear hang or a hammock hang with him that he put on. And man, you talking about some like learning curve. I had no idea what I was getting into. There's a lot of people that know a lot about hammocks at a gear hang. So I was a little overwhelmed, but it's a great hammock and he kind of custom makes it to order. And I absolutely love it. 11 feet. I got the mountain fabric. I think it's a good balance. I don't know. It's a great hammock.
Sweet. So you said like made to order. You have to like contact them. I'm seeing some of the prices here. I'm not seeing like where I can just like check out online. So you have to like hit them up and be like, this is what I want.
That's what he likes you to do. Yeah, he likes you to call him and kind of get a phone call going and kind of talk you through what you want because. Like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, I bought a hammock and just bought, just like knew nothing about it. Got a 10-foot hammock, could never lay flat in it. Fabric wasn't right. I got a double layer, didn't need that because I didn't put a pad. I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't know. Still don't know much about it, but this guy's an expert and he kind of tells you what you want. I mean, even down to like, do you sleep on a firm mattress or do you sleep on a soft mattress? And then he'll kind of design which fabric will work for you, which I never even thought of. So it was really cool.
That's crazy. So are you like a total convert now? Like, did you spend some nights on it and you're like a hammock guy now? I still see that you're mostly intense here, but is he making you a believer?
I think so. I mean, I kind of, you talk to people like Backpacking with Jason and Jeremiah and those guys that they're all about hammocks. And I see why, because if you can get the right lie, you can really be comfortable. But I mean, if I have to really go ultralight and just like I'm going 7 days or so, I'm probably just going to go with, a one-person tent. I think get, like a Z-Pax tent or something. But if I'm like weekend or 3 or 4 days, this to me seems to be more comfortable. I mean, I'm still new to it, but I really like it.
Awesome. They got Yeah, go ahead,
those hammocks are great for areas where you're not likely to find a good flat spot. So my brother and I did a trip in the in Rocky Mountain National Park, and we slept basically on the side of a like really steep sort of cliff kind of area. And because it's sort of hung, it doesn't really you can't even feel it. Did anybody show you how to get into the hammock when you can only hang it up higher than you can kind of get in? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. You talking about like getting in upside down and flipping over and all that?
Yeah. So you like have to put your head in, and then you just lift your foot up, and then hook it into the bottom of the like side of the hammock, and then if you pick your other one up, it just flips you over in it. And it's
No, I didn't do that.
It's wild, but it is like it's not only it's super fun, but it's crazy to think about the way the physics work. But it's
Yeah, we're not talking about what you use in the bedroom here, Snackbox. We're talking about going out in the field here. I also saw too here. You got a little PPTP. I wonder if that's like a direct thing. That could probably go on the backpacking podcast too with the poop hammock there. Seems like a nice accessory there. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go with mine next to give Jared just a little bit of extra time here. Let me pull up my card. I don't need to share my screen, I don't think. All right, this one it's been beaten to death. I apologize in advance for everybody, but it really does deserve to be in the list for best gear for 2024. And we've got Fire Maple Petrol UL. Super cheap. Like 24, 25 bucks. It's got the flux ring. This is the pot that I think a lot of people were looking for. And they were just like, all right, we're just going to do a cheap Chinese knockoff of it. And here it is. Under 6 ounces, uber cheap. And it really does work. It works very similar to a jet boil. It's just a little bit taller and about a fifth of the price. So that's why I like it. Jared, why is that a bad pick?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm all about that company. I've only seen a few of their things, but all through your channel, actually, Dave. And it seems like they're making good stuff. That lantern, the lantern thing that they have. Hopefully, I'm not taking one out of your. But the lantern, do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, like candle, whatever. That torch. That's a really cool
orange lantern.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're going on that winter trip with your backdrop right there, it seems like a good one to bring on that one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why it is, but their marketing seems to be popping up all over my social media feeds. Like everything I look at, it's almost like Outdoor Vitals now. I see that maple thing everywhere. I'm like, whoa, here it is. You know, but obviously they're doing well because they're selling good stuff. I mean, stuff that people want.
Yeah, they haven't quite reached the Durston cult status quite yet, but they're definitely shooting up. All right, Jared, what do you got for your first one?
Well, this is one that neither of you are ever going to have picked. So well, you might have picked it at one point, Crow, but I'm going with the Deuter Kid Comfort Pro backpack, and so here I'll be able to pull it up on my screen. And so this one is. First of all, I love the color, right? So all that blue, I try to get that and everything. But what's really nice about this thing is just, put the kid in, and it's good for training for bigger hikes or taking him out on other hikes. So he's about 30 pounds right now, my older of the two. But then he'll like take a nap in it. So I can go on like 2-hour walks with him, and he's just asleep in the back. It's pretty great. And the space is pretty good, super light, but it's good for sort of a shorter day hike, but also it approximates like an actual backpack for training. So that helps out too.
You know, what I've heard, Jared, is that particular pack, the age limit is up to 16, but the others are 12.
Can you imagine if you were like walking around, your like 16-year-old got the little like 16-year-old mustache and is just chilling in the back there, pimply faced.
Hey, my question is like, how many snacks? I can just picture Jared like trying to fit snacks around like his like kids' legs and stuff, like pulling Pringles out of the side and just snacking down.
Well, he does. I mean, it is also like it works well for like the little side pouches, legitimately for passing snacks back, and that part though is like your head is right in the way, so if he decides to go drumming,
there it is.
Your bongos. Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those. I feel like everybody's got to have one at some point if they're having kids, and then this one's worked well for us this year.
You just have to make sure that it's your water bladder. It's not your water bladder leaking. It's actually the kid in the back leaking on you.
At this point, I mean, I'm sure you were there too at some point, but like, it doesn't even bother me. Wouldn't even slow me down. Not even in the world of like, I'm gonna have to clean it anyway. Like my one little one like threw up on me yesterday and I didn't even move. I'm just like, all right, I guess we'll deal with this in a few minutes.
You remember in the movie Dumb and Dumber when he's on the back of the bike and he's like, just go, man, just go.
Yeah, just go.
I like to trust you remember the movie that I could probably act out scene for scene right here immediately. Oh yeah. Do I remember? I can tell you where it was filmed,
Yeah.
My favorite movie right there. I actually wanted to do a quick follow-up on that, Jared, because I think I have heard of the Deuter one before. Were you looking at any of the other ones for those new parents out there to see if there are any other options?
Yep. Yeah, there were a few that we had looked at, and they were all like, it comes down to the system for strapping the kid in and how easy it is. Because you have to have the kid safe, so it's got to have some level of complexity that a 2-year-old can't figure out and then fall to the ground. So they'll have to be a little bit complex, and so they just were all, the reviews weren't quite there. Maybe they had like too much space, like they were meant for actually going on long backpacking trips with a little kid, that kind of thing. And then the other piece was the ease of that stand. So you kind of have to pop the stand out before you put the kid down, but you're doing that with a backpack on. So that was another one that was sort of a deciding factor. But there are a bunch of really good ones out there. They are, as you saw, they're not inexpensive. But there are some less expensive options that work just fine. I think Kelty has a good one.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. Yeah, if it comes with a kid helmet, then it's probably not that safe. All right, let's move over to the second round here. Crow, what's the next one you got? He gave me 4, but let's see. Let's see how many we can get through.
So the next one I have is I took this to Colorado this year. This Flex Solar. It's just a cheap solar panel off of Amazon, and this is the 2-panel version. They make a 4-panel. I mean, it's not that expensive, and I wasn't sure it was going to work, but I was really concerned because I'd gone to Utah the year before and almost ran out of batteries and power banks, and so this thing charged. I used it exclusively with my phone. I attached it to my backpack and it had my phone charged. So I never had to charge my phone throughout the trip. And it actually worked. I didn't really test it out before I went, which is not something I should have done, but I took it out there and it worked. And I'm really grateful that it works, that I can actually use it.
Hold on, Dave, go back to that the last slide. No, the one right before it. Yeah, it's a nice one of those. That's a Southern one right there. The Solar Charger.
Solar.
Get some Solar.
Hey, don't mess with the sponsors, man. Come on, dude. It's like guaranteed money right there.
It worked well though. It didn't. So like the ones I've used in the past often can get too hot really quickly because they're meant to draw on that heat. That one did pretty okay by way of that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any complaints. Somebody that went with us said, I'm going to get one of these real quick. And I thought, well, I'll try it too. And I just bought it off Amazon and thought this thing ain't going to work. And I'm going to really, regret getting it. And then it actually charged my phone the whole time, which is good. I could have charged my battery banks, but I thought, well, this will just keep me from using the battery banks. I'll use this for the phone during the day, and being able, it's got those little mini carabiners on it. So you just attach it to your backpack. It worked. I was surprised that it worked. Didn't think it would, but for $40, I'm going to be using it.
Do you think it would actually charge one of those battery banks?
I didn't try it, so I can't say.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, the GoPro 10s and newer will do these really beautiful night lapses, but you have to have them attached to external battery source to make it through the night. So I'd be really interested for some of the longer trips. Like I basically had to choose my night and kind of roll the dice when I was hiking this summer to decide if I was going to be able to get the best shot that night or maybe the next night or whatever, since I'd only get one go at it with the battery bank. But if that would charge it, that would solve that problem,
And I think that's a 3-panel. The one I got is 2-panel, so it was cheaper. I didn't see the 2-panel for sale anymore, so I don't know if they discontinued that, but that's a 3-panel, so it's got a little bit more charging power, I guess, to it.
Yeah, it looks like it's also, at least right now, you can get it for what's that, $30 because the 30% off coupon right there.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on a limited time deal, and you can get 30 on top of that. And they're like paying you for it. Crow, I know that like you're super up on this, but we need to get a very geeky and nerdy spec breakdown like Steven over at My Life Outdoor. I want to see, what kind of gigawatts and everything, 1.21 gigawatts you can get off of this thing in order to charge up your devices.
I'm a Alabama public education. I can basically show it to you and say, hey, it charged my phone. That's all I got.
Awesome. All right, cool. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for most of the people that go out anyway, right? Like they're only going to really have that and maybe a couple other smaller devices. So that's good.
Right.
All right. Let me do my next one here. I still don't have it in front of me. So let me see if I can share my screen here. Let me put up the card first. I'm going to go with the Nebu hiking pants here. I don't think anybody really knows about that. I think Huck also got approached by these guys as well, because I think they're on our side. They're either in like Utah or California, somewhere over here on the West Coast-ish area. And let me share my screen as I'm rambling to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. They hit me up and they were just like, hey, you want to try a couple of these? And I was like, sure. Sent it over, and I actually really love them now. They're like my go-to, super comfortable. I think they're made out of nylon, but they're really quick drying and still look like a pant, not like the OV joggers where it looks like, you're rolling out of bed in the morning. And heading out there.
Yeah.
It's got the adjustable belt on here too. There's not much to say about pants, but they don't have that like super swishy sound, that sound when you're hiking through, and they're just like uber comfortable. I don't know how long they're gonna last, but and I also don't know 100% if this came out in 2024 either. I might be misthinking this one here. It might have been a little bit earlier, but pants. That's a super sexy one for you guys. Clothing. Good gear for 2024.
So these they're not like zip off in the for shorts or anything, or they have different ones. Okay.
They have a couple of different styles. They're more of an upstart right now. Ooh, they got shorts now. That's new. They're more of like an upstart. They're still trying to like test the waters. They have more of a durable one, and then they have like their UL one. The Rob Roy here, I think, is their heavier weight one. And it's, as you can tell here, unless you're like a super slim athletic model, then you kind of have to go up in a size. I got a little bit of the thunder thighs situation going on, so I had to go up in the size. But they work really well. I think they're super comfortable. I took them out in heat and in colder weather. They're probably a little bit better in the warmer environments for their lighter weight stuff, but maybe this heavier one can work in the colder environments. But they worked really well. I really like them.
Did you have any women come up to you and say, hey, your butt looks really good in those?
Oh, I had a couple saying the same about the front, but not the back.
Oh, no.
Nah, just kidding. But you know what? I also, I'm not going to speak for Huck here. I might have to cut this out of the pie. I don't know if he wants me to say this, but if you have larger calves, I heard that this isn't good either. So, you gotta let Taylor know from Southern Hike that these probably aren't going to work for him either.
Yeah. They do have that, like, what is that brand? Cool, Kuhl. Is that how you pronounce it? They look kind of like those. Yeah.
Yep. That's my my second one. What do you got for the second round there, Jared?
So I'm going to go here. I'm going to pull I'm in Huck's honor. I'm going to go with the Six Moons Swift 50X. And so this is one of those backpacks I'm pretty soon going to need a new one because I'm sort of burning through the one that I have currently. So let me see if I can share the screen on it.
I'm sure he's got at least a couple of those, but I haven't seen him use it in a while. I think he uses the other one now. I forget what it's called. Is it? Man, maybe I might be thinking of the Swift X. And no, that's the one. Yep,
it's just a standard sort of. One of the things that makes Six Moon pretty good is that they have so many options for sort of customizing, but it's not overwhelming. So it's similar in terms of customization options to like an Enlightened equipment, where you pick enough that you know you're going to like it, but you don't have to be sort of a gear designer to be able to get it right, you know. But it's a solid pack. The company, I've had their stuff before, always liked everything that I've had, and so this is no exception as well.
What's the liters in it? How
Many
liters?
50 liter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So it's a pretty good one for like like the longer hikes, the 5 to 7 days out between and stuff. Yeah.
And is it framed or is it not framed? It's frame, man.
It's frameless, and then it also has these different options here for the. Let's see if I can make sure I'm moving the tab. So they have a bunch of different harness systems. So they've got the shoulder harnesses, but they also do the vest harnesses, which
nice.
Yeah, so if you can keep your gear light enough, that vest harness, you don't even need the waistband on it. So that's pretty decent too.
The originators of the running vest too. Don't pay attention to Z-Packs. These guys did it first.
Yeah.
I like that coyote color. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Guys, I might have to step away for a second. I got my little ones losing it. So move on.
Do your thing.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
I got a couple of dogs yapping over in my neck of the woods too here. So
yeah,
not my dogs.
It doesn't take long. He usually goes right back down. So fingers crossed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice looking pack. I don't think I've heard people talk about it. I don't think I've ever seen it. So I like the vest. I have never gotten one with the vest system on it, like the harness thing. So, but that is kind of pricey.
Dude, I've been trying to. Yeah, it's true. I've been trying to get that vest style for a while now, and I've been giving Z-Packs a little bit of crap too, because when they released it, they were only for the packs like this year. So if you had any other prior model, any other year, you couldn't adjust it for it.
Oh yeah, you could switch it. Couldn't switch it out, right?
Nah, yeah, which is kind of, I don't know. Like I've heard also where they're just like, all right, well, a lot of companies do that because they just want to have you buy the next thing, and I'm like, that's cool, but they've also offered in the past where you can get your straps replaced for your pre-existing pack. So I'm like, why not just make it adaptable? So kind of pissed.
They're doing. I don't know when this episode is going to air, but at Christmas, I've seen a lot of stuff come out. Maybe Six Moons will have something. Z-Packs has got that 12 days they're doing right now, and I think today was like $75 off a tent, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. They did a couple. Like I got the their trekking poles too. Their minimalist trekking poles. They have a couple of deals that aren't too shabby. But yeah, I gotta also say too that like in the past, I haven't been impressed with the designs and the color coordination or combos of the Six Moons stuff. But with the Swift X here, I think it's a move in the right direction. Like these actually look pretty decent.
They do, yeah. More earth tones.
Cool. All right, let's try to see if we can keep it rolling here without taking a break, because he was pretty much done with his. So what you got for your next pick there, Crow?
Well, I'm really impressed with Featherstone, and I purchased their quilt, the Moon. Is it Moonstone or Moon Dance? I don't remember what it is. The quilt, the 20-degree quilt, and so they sent me the Obsidian One. It's a semi freestanding tent. It's a hub system, 2 poles that go down off the hub to the head, and one that goes in the middle down to the bottom. And so they sent it to me, and I just finished a review and just published a review on it. And it for a, what is it, 2-pound tent, I guess, $100 right now for that tent. And wow, really, really good tent. I mean, if you're getting into back packing, or even if you've been in it a while and just want a tent to have, I am super impressed with, because that owner, the guy that I can't think of his name right now, but he really is into trying to design tents and make them affordable. That's his big thing. And they have not missed anything they've done. They've got that Backbone 1 tent, which is a trekking pole tent they just came out with. This one's been out a little longer. And I thought the design and all the features on it are excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your review on that one. It looks pretty cool. Now, is this one the Obsidian? Because I was trying to find the name on this one, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I think that's the Obsidian. Yeah, it should be. It might be the 2-person one, but they have a 2-person and a 1-person. And it's not one of those. It's like a 1.5-person tent. It's a good wide tent. It does go down curves down a little bit, but not much. And it's but I can get all my gear in it. When I went on the trip, I was able to get all my gear inside. So I was super impressed with it.
Cool. Did you do the Devon test in it, where he like tries to do a backflip on the inside to make sure you got enough headspace in there?
No, I didn't do that. Yeah, I think it's like, I can't remember. I lose stuff in my head when I try to memorize stuff, but I think it's like 46 inches of headroom.
Yeah,
so it's got
right here.
45. Yeah. So it's good. Yeah.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the price, like $100 for a tent, like you can't go to Academy or Dick's or one of the sporting good places and find one like that. Even the cheaper stuff, this is good quality stuff. I mean, good stuff. And at £2, I think it's a great tent.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about this. I know they also approached Huck too, so I think he's working with them as well on a sponsorship too. So I think this might be the 2-person at £3. That's really not that bad either. Like,
yeah, that's the 2.
That's a pretty competitive weight. Right
oh,
there.
and the biggest thing is, what I did was on my review, I just opened it up and carried it out on a trip without ever using it, just to see how it would go. And I had brought a footprint on it, and it comes with a footprint, which I mean, it's almost unheard of for a tent that you usually have to pay an extra $50 to get a footprint, but it came with it, and it attaches to the corners. So it's really good.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. All right, cool. Some budget-friendly options from Crow for the holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Friendsgiving, whatever you celebrate. Those are some great options right there. Let me shift over to mine before probably taking a mandated break, because Snackbox just decided that he doesn't want to get paid for tonight's podcast. Nobody gets paid on this one, folks. Sorry. I'm not rich enough for that blood. All right. What's my next one here? Let's see. I got to search for it. Did I throw it on the ground? Where did I put it? Oh, it's behind the camera, so I gotta reach for it. We'll talk about this one last. Again, this is I kind of trying to stick to the ones that were new, mostly for 2024, that I tried in this year, which wasn't that many. And the last one that I have here, and pop it up, the ZenBivy Ultralight Pad. I know Crow's got one on here too that he might talk about in a second. This is, and I wish I waited for the sale on this one. I kind of jumped the gun and went for a 10% sale, which wasn't really a sale. And now they're running it. You had mentioned, when is this one going to come out? I'm going to try to get this out before end of year, obviously, because it's best gear to cap off the year. But picked this one up when it was still fairly new. I really enjoy this pad. You know what I enjoy more so than anything is the quilted baffling style. And this one is a long and tapered one. It's a mummy one, but it's a long mummy, so you don't really feel it tapering that much. Very close to the Sea to Summit pads. If you've ever tried that or that quilted style, I just really like that baffling. I find it to be the most comfortable. Again, I'll repeat this since I did on my video when I shot it. 2 big negatives on this one is the valve is super hard to open when you go to dump the air. So I had a commenter, and I thought it wasn't that bad, who had said, put a little Vaseline on it to see if that works. And I'm like, hey, you know what? It's not a bad idea. Maybe a little WD-40 or something like that. A little bit of lube action there. But really hard to get that valve out. And then the other thing was, I'm a side and stomach sleeper, so I toss and turn a lot. And it only has 3 inches of loft, which this is a warmer pad. It's a 4.8 value. And you really need to pump it up all the way to max it out and feel the warmth. I tried to let a little bit of air out one night, and I was freezing my ass off. So you have to pump it up all the way, and that kind of decreases the comfort a little bit for me. Makes it a little bit more stiff. So I kind of wish it had a little bit more loft, but that's my third one there is the Zenbivy UL pad.
So I hadn't really gotten into, I've seen a lot of ads for them and I don't understand their system, but I just really haven't delved into it. I need to go on their website and figure out, but so what they have like a sleeping system, the pad, and then some, how does all that work? Do you know?
Yeah, so I think that was the big thing. Yeah, that was the big attraction to them to begin with was their what they call a bed system. So they sell a quilt and then kind of like a sheet that attaches to your pad, and
Mm-hmm.
then they have these little hooks. I'm going to present here again for anybody who's still new to it to kind of show you. This is a really good sale. I'm not sure if this is still going to be out when this episode releases here, but really good sale, up to 30% off on pretty much everything. But yeah, they got popular for their what they're calling a bed system. They got a few different, and it's basically just by weight, right? And the thickness of the different materials. You probably heard there's a lot of like talk about the UL stuff over here on the left this year, but really expensive. You're not really saving that much weight. It goes up a lot in price just to save a few extra ounces. I usually tell people if they're asking about it to go more towards this light system here, and a few different options. I think they're also going to drop it down even further. They're going to come out with like a -5 version, but that's extreme. And then usually like right here, we got 10 degree and 25 degree and decent prices here. It's not the lightest that I've seen. I think UGQ and Enlightened Equipment probably have lighter quilts that you can pick up. But I mean, for the price too, especially if you can get it on sale, or if you took advantage of this sale, that's really not that bad. So like a 10 degree would be like a freezing, right around freezing temperature for $230 isn't that horrible.
Yeah, not bad, really bad. So you basically save up and get one piece and get another piece. You add to your system. It looks like it'd be kind of expensive to get all of it at once.
Yeah, and what's kind of crazy that I've mentioned before is the sheets that they have for it. So the quilts really aren't that bad, just in general. I'm trying to find bid. Do they have that? Yeah, quilts and sheets. And then they'll charge you like $70, $80 for an insulated sheet, basically, and you're just paying for like the hood for the most part. It's really just like a thin fabric where they put the clips on it, and it's all proprietary, like the gaiters and whatnot. You know, where like they all make them for the shoes, so you can't like get a different system and try to attach it to it. There's another Ukrainian company too that I've mentioned before called Rockfront that's doing something similar that I've heard about. But you got to spend euros and you got to wait. And I don't really know the conversion to US dollars because I'm too dumb for that. So I don't know about that one. That one seems like a pretty good contender, though. All jokes aside, that one seems pretty nice too.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know much about Zenbivy. I just know that they're burning up the market right now. You see it everywhere. I think Steven do a video on them. Steven from My Life Outdoors or something.
Dude, everybody's done them at this point. I think Justin did it. Devin's done a bunch. He did a podcast with one of the lead designers of them as well. So yeah, they're blowing up. I wouldn't be surprised to see other companies diving into this too, like Thermarest or a couple of the others, because I could see a shift. Like I could see like people like shifting over to this more so, because what it is it's kind of like an in-between, right? If you don't really like a constricting bag and kind of flopping all over, but you're also like wary of, I don't want to go with a quilt because the draft
cold
is too much of
spots.
a problem. In cold weather, this kind of bridges that gap where it locks you down on the pad, but it doesn't, waste all of the down underneath you like a sleeping bag usually does. So I see this type of system going pretty huge. It's already started. I want to get my hands on one. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So Zenbivy, we accept all donations on this podcast. All right, so Jared is having issues with his little man and putting him to sleep. Those are the problems of parenthood, I've been told. So we're going to keep it moving here. I believe you were next here, Crow, and you had one more. So what do you got?
I got one more, and that is I've been a fan of Flextail. They've been real nice to me. They've sent me the zero pump, and I took a couple of versions of it, and so they sent me their pad. It's the 005 R05 pad. And what I like about Flextail is, and I've noticed that they'll send me the versions of the zero pump and different things, is that they work through their products. If they see issues with it, they will try to address it and then, update it. And they did that. They did that with their zero pump. They did that several times. And I told them a couple of things on the mattress, and they've looked at. But I mean, for the price, $159 for a 5.6 R value, I thought it's a really good price, and it's very comfortable. I like the vertical baffles in it, and it's, usually you see a pad like that, you wonder if it's going to be warm, and the system they got works really well. I mean, it's not ultra light, but it's really warm. And so I've used it many times now, and I use it as a go-to a lot of times. And I like the way it's pretty wide at the top, and then just at the feet, it kind of, to cut down on weight, it goes down a little bit. But I've been impressed with it. I think a pad's a pad. I mean, some of them are more comfortable than others, and it works really well for me.
Oh man, that's excellent. I was wondering if they were going to do this, and I just pulled it up here. They got the side-by-side comparison to XPad. I was thinking about XPad because they also do the vertical baffles. It seems like they're right in there, and competitive as far as like the pricing goes for the R value too. Like XPad has a wide variety. They go from like a 1R all the way up to, I think, 8 or something like that. So they're comparing it side by side here, 5.6 versus a 4.8, and it seems like it's pretty competitive. And you got the, like you said, the mummy cut. You got the regular, fully rectangular. Cool innovation, like cool stuff kind of coming out from them. I haven't really bit the bullet on, I don't think, any of their stuff yet. I know the zero pump was huge this year. I think that made a lot of people's lists as well. I haven't gone with it yet either, mostly because I have another pump from somebody else. But really cool. I know you've tried, I think you've tried, is it their repellent as well? And a couple others from them, right?
Yeah, I think you and I were on the trip together when I was looking at that repellent, I believe. When we went to Smokies?
Yep.
And it works. It worked for me on that. But I told them a couple of things about the zero pump. Initially, like their prototype had a battery and no external charger. And then they updated that with it had a Nitecore battery with it, updated with an external charger to the battery. And you can still take the battery out. And that battery that they have, they came out with their headlamp, and that battery is interchangeable with their headlamp. So you could just carry that one battery, flip it, and it's in the, I like the way the battery has the charger on it. So on the zero pump, you can either charge the battery or you can charge externally, whatever you want. But yeah, you could just take one battery, use it for your headlamp, and then flip it to your pad when you blew it up, to cut down on weight, I guess. Or you could just take an extra battery just in case, but it's nice that it's interchangeable like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's the kind of innovation that I'm looking for. So that could be something. They could be onto something there, because they have a lot of electronics of just kind of swapping it out. And then, like you said, the ability to take the battery out, because like with anything else that's built in, if it goes, then you're kind of SOL, right? Like you don't really have an option but to replace it. But if you have something that you can pop the battery out, you might be able to have it last a lot longer. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, their headlamp that just came out, the Helio or whatever, that right there.
Looking at that.
So that's the one you take the battery out of it. But I've noticed that my Nitecore, I mean, I've had it a long time. The U25 or what, I don't even have the updated one. I've had it forever, but it finally, that internal battery has started to die on me. So this is kind of neat in that I wouldn't have to go with that. I wouldn't have to go buy another one. I could just get another battery for the Helio as long as it was, still working. Whereas a Nightcore, I just gotta go replace it, I guess, because it doesn't have that replaceable battery on it.
Right. Yeah. So good move by Flextail in doing that. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that going, that's a pretty attractive option, especially for the Gram weenies who are just like, oh, I could save the weight of the battery because I could just swap it out to something else, right?
Yeah. And a good price.
Cool.
It's $29 for that 600 lumens. Pretty good.
Yeah. Decent stuff there. All right, I'm going to round out my last one here. We're trying to stall for Jared as much as we can here, folks. Not sure if he's going to make it in time here at the finish line. I'm going to bring up one more. It's kind of an old favorite. I'm not really sure how long we're going to be talking about it. I know, Crow, you have either used this or some other version of it. And I'm going to bring up the Z-Packs Arc Haul here. This is a little bit of an older one. I don't even have a card for it. Sorry, folks, can't put it up. This is the Robic nylon. It's got the trampoline back to it. Finally got a chance to get like a full framed pack that also promotes airflow in the back. I'm a huge proponent of that now. I hate the sweaty back because then it gets down into my crack and everything too. Like it's super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So getting that like airflow in there, I think is like primo. And it just rode really well. You know, I told the joke also, like maybe if you're pushing the weight limit like 40 something pounds like Eric Hansen, then maybe it's not as comfortable. But with 20-ish pounds, mid-20s or less, this thing like rides like a dream. So that's why I really like it. Now Crow's going to tell you why he decided to get rid of his and potentially why he's going back to Z-Packs.
Yeah, I have thought very seriously about getting the new Arc Haul. I've loved well, dang, I've drawn a blank. My Hyperlight mountain gear pack. I've used it now for 2.5 years and love it. The Junction, I mean, just absolutely love it. But it is 31 ounces, and that is what, 19, 20 ounces for the Z-Pack.
Yeah, so around 20. Yep.
And it's a 20. So you're talking about 11 ounces you can drop by switching. And I had the Arc Blast for a long time, not the new version, with the, what is that new,
Dude, they don't even sell it anymore. It's Ultra now.
They don't.
They first of all, they wiped out
Ultra.
their whole DCF. Yep.
And
they don't even have the Arc Blast anymore. I think it's just the Haul.
No, it's just the Haul with that new fabric. That's it.
Yep.
With the Ultra. Is it 200 or 100 Ultra? I don't remember, but it's that's all they're going with.
Let's go with their 50 liters. See if I can pull it up. Maybe it's the spec materials. There we go. 100. Of course, they're always going to go thinner.
Yeah.
They're not going to go thicker stuff.
But I've heard good things about it. I hadn't heard about anybody ripping them or anything. It seems like it's good stuff. So obviously they're switching because they were the people that had the Dyneema all the time. Now they're not even really giving that option anymore that I can see.
Crazy. They also released with their running style vest, and one of the newer ones here is the Super Nero. So they ended up going without the hip belt, but with a 50 liter. And I was kind of joking. I was like, I don't know if I would ever put like 50 liters in something that doesn't have a hip belt. Like, I don't know what the application for that would be. Maybe you're carrying around a bunch of like big pillows and quilts instead of like heavier stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to try this running style vest, Crow. I really got to get my hands on this.
I know. It looks good.
Super excited.
And what is the weight? Is it light? Is it lighter than 19 on that Super Nero?
They're saying like almost 12 ounces here.
Wow.
That's probably for the small. They always give you the small size first. Let me go. Let's go vest straps and then no belts.
And it doesn't have the frame, so that's what they're getting off of the weight. They don't have that U frame that Z-Packs has, so they're taking that weight off. That's the difference, I guess.
Couple extra ounces, goes up to almost 16 with the vest strap, so it does add a little bit of weight, but I can guarantee that's going to ride a lot more comfortable there.
Yeah.
Right. Sounds good. Let me see where Jared is at. If he's not back, then we're just going to wrap this one up. All right, Jared, you good? All right, cool. All right, well, we'll rope you back in here. So Crow and I have expelled our entire gear closet here, and we're just out of every single piece of gear. And we're waiting for you to come back, so we'll give you one more here. You can sneak in a second one, real quickie, if you want to. But let's round out this cast tonight with your last pick here.
All right, so this last one, totally cheating, but this is like a classic piece of gear that's making a comeback. So it's been around for a long time, but it's starting to make a comeback, and it is this candle lantern. Have you guys seen this yet?
No.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, they're
like a tea light candle.
Yeah, it's similar to that. So I actually have one here. I can show you all. So let me pull up on my screen here the sort of the picture of it, and then I'll walk you through like what's so cool about it. So this is what it looks like right here. They're about $30, and
I love how he just leaves. He's just like, I'm just gonna keep talking. And
yeah,
just go out of prayer.
He fell in the snow.
Yeah. What if I came back? What if I like legitimately walked over there when I came back? I was just covered in snow, like
covered in snow
with a hat, like all disheveled.
Yeah. So the idea here, this is like the classic version is this brass one here, right? And so they're not light. They're certainly not ultra light, but they're nice if you're doing like an overnighter or something. But what's really clutch about it, so then they have the number there. The way that it works is the candle. This looks like dog lipstick, right? It's actually spring loaded, and so as the candle burns, it actually feeds up more. So you get this it's like 12-hour lantern light, but it never
nice.
So it's not like your standard like tea light. It's the same wax and everything, but it's just like really simple, kind of a nice like classic touch. And just some backstory here. We were talking a little bit about it was a while ago. We were making like hot takes on one of these, and I made the pick that I thought that ultralight, like the sort of everybody going crazy over ultralight, was probably going to go away, that people were going to start kind of coming back to like not heavy stuff, but bringing in a couple more creature comforts. I think that's going to happen in the coming years. I know it is for me at least. So anyway, I really like this. It adds a really nice touch when you're going to like a quick overnight. I wouldn't carry it on a long hike, of course, but for a nice overnight to give you some nice natural light, it's pretty stellar.
That's sweet, dude. That's even better than the one that I was thinking about, because I think they have an even like a more simplified version, right? Where you just feed it your own tea lights, and this one just looks like a push pop that just keeps
push
going
pop.
with the light.
And you can get them with citronella candles too. That's the other thing. So like if you, Dave, if I ever get you down there to the Everglades, like I've been trying to do.
Oh, you mean the least visited park? Sure.
The Everglades? That's not the least visited park. Get out of here.
No, it's the one. It's the one in Indiana, right? I'm probably getting that one confused.
No, the least visited park in the system is in the lower 48's Isle Royal, but it's also the most frequently revisited. That's the only reason I know that one. And then I think Cascades or something is below it. Anyway, sorry, that's a super nerdy.
Hey, you know what would be cool though is if they had like scented candles, and one of them was like meat scented, so that the bears would come at you.
Yeah, give somebody like a honey scented candle, like they won't even tell. They won't know it until
or a bacon scented candle, and you're like, oh, why are all these animals coming to my tent?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Loving it. All right, cool. Any other ones that you want to squeak in there, Snackbox? Or are you good?
I think that covers it for me. I mean, I had I hiked with so much old gear this year that anything new is pretty choice for me. Happy with that.
You don't want to keep the waffle stompers or the external frame pack, man? Those are good.
I told you about the waffle stompers. Like it took me a month to regain feeling in 3 of my toes after and it was the 3 toes where you push the gas pedal. So every time I hit the gas, I'm like, I don't know if I'm like racing or slow or anything.
The first time that the ambulance ever saw an amputee that wasn't frostbite from those boots.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. They're a mess, man. But the backpack I would save. The backpack was pretty decent. I'd do that again.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'll probably post it again. Jared, send me some of the links for that. I think you're still working on a documentary for that, if I'm not mistaken, right? Go ahead, do your shameless plug real quick before we exit it out.
Yeah. So it's a film project I'm working on through the Colorado Nonprofit Development Center. So the website is 5050ontheCT.com. I can actually put that in here for everybody. And then, so if anybody feels obliged to go check that out, please do. If people do make any contributions, the money all goes to the Colorado Nonprofit Development Center. So the donations are tax deductible. But the idea is really the Colorado Trail turned 50 this year. And so I hiked the trail using only gear that would have been available in 1974.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was wild. It was including these.
Wow.
These guys here were brand new when I got them. They were the Eddie Bauer K6s, and they are your like classic waffle stompers. And when I tell you, I'm not making it up. I lost feeling in 3 toes for like a month. It was rough, yeah. But anyway, that's the project I've been working on, and sort of what it's been a lot of fun, but it's slow going, and when you work with actual like professional folks, there's a guy I'm working with, and he's it just takes a lot longer than my garbage that I pump out with editing, you know.
I expect nothing less than full cinematic experience once this thing comes out.
Yeah, well, if that's what you want, I'll get you a ticket to the next Avengers.
Oh,
man. Hey, Jared, thank you so much for your recommendation on the CT, because that was the greatest. I'm so glad you said Silverton Durango, and we took the train and just had a blast.
Yeah, that's just like I'm glad you all had a good time there. And that when I got there to Mullis Pass, I was thinking about you guys, because you were out there, I think 3 weeks prior, and every step I was like, man, this is like the best 70 miles of the trail for sure. Yeah, but that's how you know that I like you, because I could have sent you on some.
You could have sent me
cliff. I could have been like, I send you through the cow pasture country, the 70 miles to go through cow pastures.
Yeah. Excellent stuff here. All right, let's wrap this one up. I'm gonna throw this back up again. 'Tis the season to give, so give until it hurts, folks. 50-50 on the CT. Great cause right there. Throw up some social love as well, real quick. Again, Jared's over here, Outside Comfort Zone, on YouTube and on Instagram at Backcountry Champion. I snagged a couple from Crow here, but I'm pretty sure it's the same everywhere. I think you're even on Facebook too, if I'm not mistaken. YouTube, Instagram, as a Crow flies. He's a celebrity here, folks. We're the small timers. He's the big wig that I was able to blackmail. What was that?
Yeah, I'm also on 4chan under As the Crow Flies Hiking. So if you need him,
he's on X, he's on OnlyFans.
I'm working on OnlyFans, but nobody really wants to watch that. I have to pay people to come watch it.
Counterintuitive.
For reverse OnlyFans, right? You make them pay to unsubscribe.
Right.
Meanwhile, Backpacker Bob is up to like 3 million followers. All right, fellas, I've eaten up enough of your time. Great talking as always. Thanks for your time tonight, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Dave.